So we were talking about the carbon dioxide, that the carbon neutrality. What it means that making alcohol from actually fermented from biofuels is actually carbon neutral. So what does it mean? So let's take the equation that we want to talk about. So for example, if you've got remember that for sugar to be made, actually it is a reaction between these two H2O, right? And you are obviously going to get your sugar. So, and you produce oxygen, and in this reaction obviously you will need to balance it. This is very important because students need to know about it. And this process is actually what? Photosynthesis. In the 6. So yeah, so we've got photosynthesis there. So that is the process that you need actually to make this photosynthesis. Then what do? You are then going to get your sugar, which is here. So you get your sugar from there, and then what do? You actually make alcohol from it. So you ferment it. Fermentation. Right. So what are you going to get? You are actually going to get your so then you are going to get, this is done in yeast, remember that, and you will get your alcohol, C2H H5, right, OH, which is your alcohol, and you get your I can't remember what you get now, the carbon dioxide. So that's what you get, and this is your right. There you go. So you get that. So, and here what is going to happen is that you're going to take your alcohol, right, that you produce from here, and then you're going to burn it. So, and that process is actually what? It is combustion. So we are going to combust it. We're going to burn the alcohol, and obviously taking your alcohol. This is your alcohol, and you burn it. C2H5OH, right? Burn it, and then you get carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide and water. And obviously getting carbon dioxide and water is going to be, this is 4, and this is 10, 12, 6, correct? 12, 6, and this is going to be this should be 4 too. So what is it? It is going to give us 4 oxygens, right? Okay, this is 8, and this is okay 8, and this is 8 plus 6. This is 14, right? And this is going to give us 46 here. So just double check the balancing of this equation. You might have gotten it wrong because I'm doing it on this is 6. Now, what has happened here, if you think about this thing, is that you will notice that here you make you have used 6 carbon dioxides, right, in total. So after you have fermented it, you make 2 carbon dioxide. So we've got 2 carbon dioxides here, right? And here you have 4, well, 4 carbon dioxides. So you have 4 carbon dioxides there, 4 carbon dioxides and 2 carbon dioxides. So the total that you have is actually 6 carbon dioxide. So you've got 6 carbon dioxide here in the reactants and 6 carbon dioxide in the products, right? Because what you've done actually, that means that these two, the reactants and the products carbon dioxide, are going to cancel out, and that is the reason why they say that it is carbon neutral, right? So this carbon neutrality, they are saying that the amount of carbon dioxide that you use to make, in other words, used to make the sugar, is the same amount of carbon dioxide that will be produced when you actually use up the sugar. So at the end of the day, they are saying that the two carbon dioxide that are in the reactants and the carbon dioxide that are in the products are going to cancel each other, which means that this process is actually carbon neutral. And that's what they mean actually by carbon neutrality. So it is important for you to know that. The only thing that you need to remember is that when they talk about carbon neutrality, they are not considering things that are important. They've just talked about the process of making the sugar, right? Okay, by photosynthesis, and the process of the fermentation and the combustion process, which produced a total number of these. What they are discounting, or they are not considering, is that when they are making these things, they use machinery. So, and this machinery, and they use actually transportation. They use transport, right? And this transport is actually uses actually fuel. So because it uses fuel, it produces what? They produce carbon dioxide. So the carbon dioxide that is produced here is not being considered in the fermentation and the combustion process. So it means that if you add this to this and this plus this, then this is not going to be carbon neutral at all. So that's what you need to know. So in an exam, right, when they ask you the advantages of using biofuels, you need to say this word, it is carbon neutral, right? This is very important, this phrase, right? And well, obviously it makes people sound intelligent. So if you want to sound smart, say that it produces heat, it is carbon neutral. And if they say the disadvantage, you talk about this, even if it is carbon neutral, they are actually discounting or not considering the carbon dioxide that is produced by machinery and by transporting the carbon fuel. Yeah. So I think that's it. Remember that the machinery that can be used is the machinery actually in the farming of the sugar, right? During the farming of the sugar, during the transportation of the sugar from the fields to the processing plant. From the processing plant, then what happens? They use also other machinery to make this. They're going to use electricity and stuff like that. So there's a lot of energy that is used, right, for this fermentation, for the fermentation processes and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, right, if you only consider these things, you're not actually doing justice to this. So yes, I think that's as far as that is concerned. So in the next lesson, we will then consider the other things like continue talking about alcohol, and that's my 10 minutes. So I'll stop. Peace.